Hey YouTube, this is Mike Brown, aka Panda Man, and today we have our Volcanic deck profile. So let's hop right in. First and foremost, we have our boss monster, the Emperor. Emperor is self-explanatory. Emperor is just too good. Being able to burn your opponent for every special summon times 500. It stacks, it's annoying, and people always wonder if it activates. It doesn't activate. The recurring effect to special summon himself by banishing 3 pyros from grave is also pretty strong. There are times, like I said, when you, on first turn, normally, most I've burned my opponent for was 2,000. And being able to do that every single turn is pretty good when you get a bunch of pyros in grave. So, something to always look out for. 3 of we play the 3 Trooper. 3 Trooper, self-explanatory, searches almost any and everything in the deck except, I believe it is the reload. Unfortunately, I wish he was able to search reload. That'd be pretty good. But this is why we play the 1 rocket. But other than that, being able to give your opponent another token on top of your other cards to give your opponent bomb tokens is pretty good. This is mostly the 1 card in the deck that gets impermed almost every single time without fail. If people know exactly what they're doing, they're always going to imperm this card. Moving on, we do play the 3 Shell. Shell is also self-explanatory. Just discard fodder. Being able to pay 500 to add another copy from deck to hand. Special summoning him off of the Volcanic Blaze Accelerator is also pretty good for the FTK. I can never see myself cutting this card down. It's always at 3. Mandatory. Same thing for Scattershot. I know a lot of people have a love and hate relationship with this card, but I've never had an issue with Scattershot. On most, I always would have 1 in hand. And if I do, I'll always have a line to get the reload on the field to be able to Regeki your opponent and burn for 15. A lot of people don't play this card. Some builds I do see people playing 1, and that's mostly in the side, but I've never had an issue with Scattershot, and I'm always keeping them at 3. It's pretty good for this format. The 2 ofs I do play is 2 Rimfire. I feel like 3 was just a little bit too cloggy at times. There was no need to play a 3rd. Being able to just use each effect 1 time was more than enough for the FTK and for the grind game. Being able to put this back off your Volcanic traps is also pretty good. So there was no need to put this at 3. There was never a time I thought about playing 3. So 2 for now is just fine. The 1 ofs, we play the 1 rocket. Like I said, being able to search your Blaze Accelerator is always good. 19. Body is also something to deal with when able to get in for damage. Being able to special summon him off the Volcanic Blaze Accelerator is also good. And then you discard your reload off Trooper to give your opponent a bomb token is pretty strong. The last another one of we play the Hida. I used to play this card at 3. Consistency purposes, always drawing multiple. 1 is always fine. If anything, I would probably boost this up to 3 if putting her in the side, being able to go games 2 and 3, maybe going second, discard her in a shell or her in a rimfire to search the flame kaiju. I'm surprised a lot of people haven't been talking about that. That was something that was pretty sweet that I thought was pretty cool. Just being able to go second against certain decks. So with Hida being able to discard any fire to search any fire from deck with attack more than what you discard is pretty good. So being able to go discard Hida, discard a shell, add the flame kaiju, it's pretty strong. And then the last one of we do play is the Fire Dog. Fire Dog is essential for the combo, being able to send a spellcaster and a fire to summon from deck. Wish it would summon from anywhere. I know that sounds pretty broken in some cases, but honestly, when you draw this card, it's an issue. Depending on your combo lines, you really don't need to worry about the 1,000 when you special summon him from the deck or whatever the case may be. But it was, besides, like I said, besides being able to not summon him from hand or anywhere, always summon from deck is pretty good. And he's a pyro, so you can banish him from Emperor. It's pretty strong. And then the last 3 we play is Troll. Comment down below, let me know what other hand traps you guys would play in the build. For now, I feel like Droll is the only thing that I feel comfortable with at the moment. Playing Ash is sometimes dangerous when going against the Fire King Snake Eye matchup, but besides that, Droll is pretty good. before we get into the spells, we are playing the wanted package. The 3 wanted, the 1 original, your 1 popular, the 1 ash, 1 witch, and the 1 flame verge. When testing this week, if you guys saw the matchup versus Ubel yesterday, the only cards I was playing was this package right here. It was a little bit a last minute thing because I couldn't find my ashes or my flame verge. I ended up going to my locals right before tournament and buying these and just forgot to just put them in the deck. I'm still play testing this at the moment. I feel like these cards would be good additions just for extenders and combo pieces for the FTK and just for the grind game for the deck for Volcanics. A lot of people have issues dealing with the deck already, but when I was playing this package here, a lot of people were always wasting their hand traps on the Ash, Imperm, etc. And it was just so funny because it enabled you to keep pushing for the FTK. So I feel like adding these in would just make the deck even more crazy. This package is just insane. And then Popular being a pyro is also pretty good. Even if you draw it, put it in grave, just banish it, you can put it back with the volcanic traps. Pretty good, pretty insane. On to the spells. We play the 3 bonfire. Bonfire is self-explanatory. Sorry for those who are unable to afford this card. Maybe find some bulk, some trade, just do whatever you can to try and get a hold of this card. This card is 100% necessary for the deck. Bonfire is just a broken card to have in general for the Year of Fire, but like I said, Bonfire was always good. Being able to hold this card, not being able to waste all your resources, having Bonfire for follow-up, or just if your opponent wastes all their hand traps, you just go Bonfire, search your last missing piece for the FTK, and just you're off to the races. Next 3 we play 3 Fire Injection. This card is pretty insane. We need this card in the opening hand, in my personal opinion. Whenever I drew this card, the FTK was always online because majority of the time, a lot of people are playing either Ash, Blossom, or Imperm, or Droll. If you get Drolled, it is what it is. But as far as Imperm, this is how we play around Imperm. Being able to dump a Rimfire or a Shell to give your opponent a bomb token and just go off from there. Being able to not be interrupted by Imperm is pretty good. The next spells, we play the 2 Volcanic and the 1 original Blaze Accelerator. This is the one and most important card that you search for the FTK off of Trooper. And also being able to banish this card from Rimfire to place another one is pretty good. Soft once per turn to special summon a Volcanic and pop a card, well, monster, sorry, I wish it popped a card, that'd be pretty good. But Accelerator is pretty good to be able to pop a monster and send a level 1 pyro from the deck to the graveyard. A lot of people do forget about this card being on field because you have so much to deal with your Emperor, with your Snake Eye cards, with other interactions with the deck, your SP, your IP, everything else is just pretty good. Never had any issues playing it at 2. 3 was a little bit too cloggy for me, but moving on, for the 1-ofs last spells, we played the 1 for 1 and the Fire Recovery. 1 for 1 is self-explanatory, just your extender. When you draw it, it's pretty good on top of having the Bonfire and everything else depending on your opening hand. Same thing with Fire Recovery. You don't necessarily need it, in my opinion. You have a lot of gas and a lot of just go cards in this deck. This is just another extender depending on what your hand looks like. Being able to special summon a fire from grave and then same turn banish to shuffle 3 to draw a card is pretty good. Moving on for the traps, the 3 traps we play is 3 Imperm. Imperm is self-explanatory. Imperm is pretty good this format. Something always pretty good, even if you know your opponent interrupts you during your turn when going for the FTK. Being able to end on your Emperor, an Imperm, SP and IP, and either your Volcanic Inferno or your Volcanic Emission is pretty strong in today's format. But like I said, Imperm is pretty good, and it's also a good target when playing Cross-Out Designator. But we'll talk more about that later. For the 2-ofs, we play the Reload. Never had an issue putting this card at 3. 2 was always pretty good, being able to discard, banish for the Scatter Shot. The Draw 1, of course, when the grind game. This card is just self-explanatory. This card is pretty good. I wish this card was searchable, for your Trooper, but other than that, it's okay. Your 2 volcanic traps, your emission to special summon any volcanic or add a volcanic, and your volcanic inferno to banish a pile from grave. Burn your opponent for 5 to negate a monster effect on field. It's pretty good. Emission is more important for the FTK, and then depending on what your inboard is or what your hands look like, inferno is also good depending on what matchups you're playing. Knowing your opponent has a deck that has, you know, normal summon reliant monsters, and they're just pretty good all around. And then the last trap, we do play the 1 Fire Art, essential for the FTK. When you are able to link off and put the Fire Dog in the graveyard, you use the effect to be able to add the Fire Art from deck to hand when it goes to grave. Essential, like I said, for the FTK, being able to link this off and then search. It's a pretty good part of the FTK. Overall, that's 38 cards without the Snake Eye engine. Before, when I was playing 40 cards, we were playing 3 Hida, but now we're just playing the 1, and I just tossed in all the cards from the Snake Eye engine. It's pretty good. I think that's about 40. I think that puts us at 45. I never had any issues, so it's fine. On to the extra. The link ones, we play the 1 Anima, self-explanatory, just another spellcaster to get into your Fire Dog. We play the 1 Link Karibo, just a way to get your shells and your rimfires in grave. And then we play the 1 Entourage. This is to get rid of Trooper, to go into SP or IP. For 2s, we play the 1 Phoenix, the 1 Cerberus. Cerberus never comes up that much. Thinking about cutting them, never made them since I put the deck together. Been playing the deck for about, you know, ever since the support for Volcanics came out, and Cerberus never came up. But Phoenix is always there. It's always a flex spot, but I feel like if anything should be cut, should be Cerberus. We do play the 1 Dark and the 1 Hida. Dark is just a good combo line when going into Link Rebo, going into the FTK or OTK for access code Tarker, sorry. And then same thing for Fire, going against the either the mirror match or just any Snake Eye Fire King player, being able to link climb into access code. And then for the last 2s, we play the 1 Sunlight Wolf and the 1 SP. Sunlight Wolf is self-explanatory, just your link 2 that you go into when you link off your Fire Dog and any other monster you have to go into your Sunlight Wolf. It just sucks because, you know, sometimes your inboard is the Sunlight Wolf and then your Emperor in the bottom. If they have Super Poly, they have it. And then SP is just self-explanatory. SP is pretty good to dodge any and everything with your Emperor, bring it back on, you know, in phase, but you always have your emission to summon the other one from deck. So it's never an issue in my opinion. For the 3s, we play the 1 BLS, the 1 Unicorn, and the 1 Selene. Selene is self-explanatory, goes for your OTK with your access code. Unicorn never really came up like that. Like I said, the FTK is very, very consistent, so it was never a time I went into access code like that, maybe like twice. And then the BLS is just for your matchups against any deck that just targets. BLS is just pretty insane with your Bestial matchups. And then lastly, we play the access code Talker, self-explanatory. And then the last 2 cards we play is your Zeus and your Typhon. Typhon always comes up. Hasn't really came up recently because of Vanadium. Haven't really played a lot of Vanadium players lately. And then Zeus is just Zeus. Never really made him. Honestly, thinking about cutting a few cards, changing up the extra deck so we can put in our Fire Princess, the Whale package, and all that other stuff. But you know, Princess is pretty cool. I feel like she'll be a good addition to the deck. On to the side, we play 3 Droplet. Droplet self-explanatory. Games 2 and 3. This card is insane. Putting cards in graveyard and being able to negate your opponent's field depending on how many negates they have, or just putting cards in grave in general is just pretty good. If you saw the matchup yesterday against the Ubel player, shout out to my boy Carey. This card was just pretty clutch in general. Just being able to negate and just put stuff in grave was just super strong. We do play 3 Twin Twister. Thinking about maybe adding in Cosmic, but Twin Twister for now is just pretty good just because the discard, you want to put your cards in grave and being able to maximize your cards to get 2-for-1s. We do play 3 Evenly. Evenly is evenly, self-explanatory. No need to get into that. We do play 3 Nib. Nib, I feel, is a side deck card in my opinion, just for the deck in general. If you play against a deck that, you know, does too much as far as combo heavying, like the Snake Eye, you know, Fire King variant, what have you, I feel like this card has to be paired with another card to be good, but for now, it's just in the side. And then the last we play is the 3 Chaos Hunter. This is for your Bestial matchup and your Castier matchup. And then, like I said, she discards the special summon herself. Never really came up a lot. I think it was twice against a cash player, but other than that, you know, she does what she needs to do. But besides that, guys, that is the deck profile. Comment down below. Let me know what you guys think, what other things that you want to do with the deck, things that you're just thinking about to spice things up. A few things for the side extra. Just comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.